This is TWiT.
Jeff, Sun Valley, California. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Leo. This is a question from the land that time forgot. I have a couple of...
Do you have dinosaurs where you live?
Well, you could just call me T-Rex.
Is Raquel Welch wearing a fur skin prancing around? I love that place.
I love that poster.
I do too, yes.
I have a couple of XP machines, and with Microsoft no longer supporting, I wonder if they're still going to support the part where it will re-authenticate your software.
Yeah, that's a good question. No, they haven't turned that off yet.
Okay. Do you think they might?
No, gosh, they can't do that. Then that would basically make it stop working.
Right.
And that would be mean.
Right. Well, I just wondered if
I think they'd face a class action lawsuit. Okay. I think they can reasonably say after 13 years, look, you don't expect more patches. Although they broke their word, you saw that this week. They patched Internet Explorer. They blinked. Some said because they said no, under no circumstances are we all right. We'll patch it. And the reason is there was a serious zero-day flaw. It would probably... How many machines? 3?
I have a couple of XP machines. My most current machine is Windows 7, I think.
Good.
But, my favorite machine is Windows 2000 Professional.
Well, you know, for years I said Windows 2000 was the best version of Windows ever. Windows 7 came, kind of, because it was much, much more recent, took the crown. And I think currently Windows 7 is probably the best version of Windows 7. Although there's a lot to be said for Windows 8. I don't like the user interface. I don't like what Microsoft did with it. I think that that's abusive. They're abusing our relationship. On the other hand, they did fix some things, many things, that weren't working so well in 7. So,
do you know if I can still use my legacy software? I've written a lot of things in Visual Basic, and that'll all still work.
VB, anything in VB should still be supported because the key for that is the DLLs.
Right.
And those DLLs should work just fine on Windows 8. I don't know for a fact. I would check. But that's the stuff that's going to still work. The stuff that doesn't work is stuff that's poorly written in not in a Microsoft language, but in by somebody. Usually it's vertical software that
third party,
and often it's software that says what version of the operating system are you, and if you don't say XP, it goes, oh, you need XP. stupid stuff like that. The funny thing is Windows 7 probably would work better on even an XP machine. The only issue is the amount of RAM you have. Because a lot of those older XP machines had 512 megs or,
Yeah, I boosted mine to 3 gig, and it's probably way more than it.
3 gig's plenty. In fact, 3 gig is, a 32-bit version of Windows 7 can't see more than 4. So 3 gig's plenty.
I have a first corollary to your thing that everybody is saving everything in too much storage.
Yeah. And
that is the Internet trying to pump too much stuff down the line. Yeah. And there's a lot of websites that could just use HTML.
I know.
Nice and fast, but they want to do the Flash and all the bells.
We got fat and happy because, and this is a age-old story in technology. As processors got faster, memory got cheaper, storage got cheaper, programmers go, well, I got plenty of space. I got plenty of bandwidth. I got plenty. And they get sloppy and they don't care so much. And now you've got giant. I mean, the size of sites today, we would be shocked at 10 years ago. We'd say, well, that's, you can get that down to 1/10 the size. But nobody cares because everybody's on broadband. And it's like, well, whatever. Who cares if that image is a megabyte? I see sites with megabyte images. And you're right about Flash. Flash is a pig. It is fortunately being phased out.
I just hope some programmers out there will start economizing on the scale of what they're trying to turn down.
There are a few people, but they're almost all old-timers, people like Steve Wozniak and my friend Steve Gibson, who cherish the notion of let's make this as tight and as lean as we possibly can. Most programmers don't have the time or the luxury to do that. They just got to get the job out. And it's too bad. In fact, there's a whole sermon I could give about software development, but I don't. It's probably not for today. It may be more for the programmers out there than the regular people. I don't want normal people to know what a rat's nest of the software they use is. How horrible it is.
Everything goes to Google APIs.
Yeah, it's just broken. It's broken. And if you knew, you don't want to see the sausage being made. You really don't want to see the software being made. If you knew the pig lips and the snake guts and the chicken wire and the baling wire that's gone in almost all modern software, you would just say, well, how does that even work? The Defense Department for a while really wanted to, if you're the Defense Department, you want to make sure those rockets go where you're aiming. They really made a concerted effort to make their software reliable. They actually invented a new language that was really strict, called Ada, and no one uses it. Even the Defense Department, I don't think, uses it anymore because it was too strict. People said, "Hey, this project will never get done. You want the software. You want it to be correct. You get a choice." And so I think we're just going to have to live with the way it is. It is too bad. I think a lot of the websites are just sloppy. It's sloppy. It's lazy. It's get it out the door quickly. And I'm probably just as guilty of it as anybody else, frankly. I haven't looked at my website lately. It's probably a little overblown. Because, this is it's actually a larger philosophical conversation. When resources are ample, people don't work as hard.
There's some people like me that I can't get a high-speed connection. I'm using a hotspot through a cell phone, and it's spotty. And if I go to YouTube, it'll stop 2 or 3. It'll stop 2 or 3 times for 20 seconds while it buffers. And
that's interesting.
Forget streaming. Anything really. But your site loads quite quick, and I'm very pleased with it. So
you saw. I don't know if you saw what happened at LAX.
I did not.
This is an interesting example of what I was talking about. This is from NBC News. A relic from the Cold War appears to have triggered a software glitch at the Air Traffic Control Center at LAX. Wednesday, about 2 p.m., a U-2 spy plane. Remember that? Gary Powers getting shot down over Russia? The same kind of aircraft that flew high-altitude spy missions over Russia 50 years ago passed through the airspace monitored by the Los Angeles Air Route Traffic Control Center. That's in Palmdale. That handles landing and departures at LAX, San Diego, and in Las Vegas. That's a pretty big center. The computers at the center are programmed to keep commercial airliners and other aircraft from colliding with each other. Now, the U-2, as all these spy planes do, was flying very high, 60,000 feet. Although the exact technical causes are unknown, the spy plane's altitude and route overloaded the computer system. The programmers never thought they'd see a plane flying at 60,000 feet. And then, so it goes down. It's the ERAM, which generates display data on, those big screens the air traffic controllers are looking at. Then the backup computers failed. They had to shut down LA Center. That caused a nationwide ground stop that lasted for an hour and affected thousands of passengers. And this is because of poor computer programming. Perfect example. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.